Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, and today's video is going to be a little bit unconventional. I'm sure a lot of you guys will have already heard the news, whether that be from Silk's video. Enders has also already done a video on this, so I'm not going to get too much into the nitty-gritty details because you should basically go and watch Silk's video on this. But you've probably already heard that a prominent Battlefield player, in fact a vehicle player, has been caught red-handed cheating in Battlefield 2042. And there are a lot of things I want to cover in this video regarding that, including why has he not been caught earlier, why did another Battlefield YouTuber have to catch him, and some of the other implications on what this could actually mean for players. And I'm sorry that my cat is being noisy and meowing in the background. However, as always, before we begin, if you do enjoy the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I thank you guys for the support. You can also go and check out the Twitter or the Discord if you wish to connect with me over there. So before we get into the cheating scumbag of today's video, let's take a look at the weekly Battlefield reset here. So let's start with the missions. So for week 8 here, we've got 1 kilometer distance traveled with ground vehicles and 8 kills and assists with SMGs or the SPH explosive launcher. Definitely one of the love-hate gadgets there, I think. Then for tier 2, we've got 10 kills with the AC-9, 30 enemies spotted and teammates resupplied, and then 10 objectives captured or neutralized. For tier 3, you've got 40 kills and assists with the RM68, easy, or the RPT-31, both completely overpowered weapons, so that should be nice and easy as well. 15 kills with the Super 500, 25 combat ribbons earned, and then finally here for the weekly bonus mission, 10 teammates revived. So all in all, a pretty easy week, I think. Over in Battlefield Portal, we actually have quite an interesting community spotlight game mode here called Ninja Warfare, and this one is created by a guy called Godless God, and he has made a bunch of different Portal modes over on Portal GG, so definitely go and check out that website if you're looking for interesting Portal modes. But this mode was actually data mined by Temporal many months ago, so this has definitely been planned by DICE to be in the game for quite some time. So basically what you have to do here is eliminate enemies sort of as a ninja, using only a limited ammo with a crossbow, a knife, and a throwable, which is obviously going to be the throwing knife. Ammo is replenished on kills. I haven't yet tried this game mode, but I'm certainly looking out to see what it's all about. Then moving over to the second week of the Leviathan Rising event, for the 15 ribbon reward, you have the Marked for Death Universal Weapon Charm, and then for the 40 ribbon one, you have Domain Authority, which is an Apache skin, and then for the 75 ribbon reward, you have Denial of Service, which is a pretty cool looking epic Casper skin, kind of the one that reminded me of Slipknot. Okay, so as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and you will be up to date with this if you frequent Twitter, it is all over Twitter, being talked about amongst the Battlefield community at the moment. It's all over YouTube as well. But this guy here, Gemini899, has pretty much been caught red-handed by Silk for using some sort of an aim hack in the jets. So you'll notice from his YouTube here that it's pretty much built up from him going, 55 and 1, 82 and 0, 75, 71 and 0 in the jets, basically pretty much stealing Silk's content. This is exactly what Silk's content is based upon, and I know a lot of you guys are familiar with his content because I used to do similar sort of content for Battlefield 4. But he's actually getting some pretty nice views here. Now, he was caught red-handed by Silk, and I really have to hand it to him. He did a fantastic job doing his research, and the whole thing with Inspector Silk just I thought was hilarious. If you go and check out some of these videos and you slow them down, what you'll see is that where his shots are landing aren't where his cursor is. So he only has to aim his cursor in the general vicinity of an infantry player, and there is some sort of a cone of fire around his cursor that the hack affects. So if an infantry player pops out from behind cover, or leaps out of a helicopter, or appears on screen anywhere close enough to the cursor, his bullets with the 25mm cannon in the jet will automatically lock onto that target and kill them. And because the jet cannons are pretty far away from a target, because they already have a lot of spread on them, if you watch this in full speed, it doesn't really look like anything is out of the ordinary. In fact, I think the only reason that somebody spotted this and that this guy has gotten away with these hacks for such a long time here is because Silk himself is so versed in how the jets work. He knows exactly, what kind of kill streaks you can expect from playing in the jets with a 25mm cannon, and he thought, hold on a minute, you know, this guy being this good, something's wrong here. This guy can't be this insanely good. And whilst it is possible to get some insane streaks, I mean, if you go on Silk's channel, he 100% is legit and doesn't cheat, and he gets some really insane scores in the Nightbird and the Jet. But I think the only reason he cottoned on to the fact that Gemini was cheating is because he's so experienced in the Jets himself. Now, the poor guy, after being ousted from the Battlefield community and pretty much disowned by us all now, I found his Twitter account. He's actually deleted his Twitter account because I can imagine he was getting a fair amount of hate headed in his direction. But somebody posted this on Reddit before he deleted, and this was his Twitter profile: competitive Battlefield player since 2011. And I kind of quoted this here saying more like cheater since 2011, because if you watch Silk's video, then you'll know he really dug deep here. He didn't just watch the videos and say, okay, this guy looks like he's cheating. He actually found conclusive evidence of him advertising, not only using hacks, but advertising them on the internet and asking people who were looking for hacks to add him to Discord. On top of that, he also has several Battlefield 4 accounts that were banned for hacking in the same manner. So it's obvious this guy has not just started using hacks recently, right? He's been hacking for probably well over a decade at this point. But he's only just been banned from Battlefield 2042. And as people started to reply to this tweet of mine over on Twitter, this guy here, Nutty, made, you know, kind of a valid statement here. He says, instead of triggering this pathetic loser who only has 70 followers and doesn't deserve any attention, the big streamers should use their influence more on questioning DICE. Why are these trash cheaters still ruining the community every day for so long? And that's kind of what I want to get into in my video here a little bit and do exactly as Nutty here suggests. I think this guy definitely has been running cheats for a long time, like I previously mentioned. And the reason that DICE haven't done anything about this is because their way of policing the community in terms of cheating really relies on the community, right? You have to go and report that guy for cheating. DICE don't have hundreds or thousands of in-house people who are randomly auditing or analyzing random members of the community to see if they're cheating. They rely on you reporting that person for cheating, and if that person gets enough reports, they will then go and investigate that player. They'll look into various statistics like, you know, what kind of a kill streak, how many kills and deaths and other statistics has this guy or this person gotten in the past few rounds, and then they will deduce from that whether they think they have grounds to ban or possibly suspend that person. So the fact that DICE haven't done anything about this guy pretty much tells us that members of the community like me and you also weren't really catching on to this dude. And I think the reason behind that is because he was in a vehicle. If you're an infantry player in Battlefield and you see someone on the enemy team going like 70-0, you know that something is wrong if that guy is playing infantry. I don't care how good of a player you are, you know, a guy like Enders, again, a really amazing player, but he isn't going 70-0. He's gonna die 5-10 times. Don't get me wrong, he might get a 5-6, you know, maybe even like a 7 KD, but he's gonna get a few deaths. If you see somebody that's like, you know, up close to 100 kills and has 1 or 2 deaths and isn't playing in a vehicle, then something is wrong there. So I think it's the fact that this guy was always playing in the jets or the helicopters that didn't really make us cotton on to the fact that anything is wrong. From our experiences playing past Battlefield games, and especially Battlefield 2042, it's kind of just become the norm that if you see a player who's on an amazing kill streak and has no deaths and is having a perfect game, he's either cheating or he's in a vehicle. So I think a lot of players will see that somebody's in a vehicle, automatically just assume, oh, he's probably just really good in the vehicles, you know, he's not cheating. But just because somebody is in a vehicle, this proves it, guys. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not cheating. Now, that doesn't mean I'm also endorsing that every time you see a player on the enemy team who's really good at the game, you go and start throwing accusations around and reporting people who don't really deserve it. I mean, I'm not that great of a player, and even I get people on my YouTube videos for my infantry play accusing me of using aim hacks and stuff like that, which I find kind of hilarious. But in some situations, people have been wrongly reported just because they're that good at the game. And honestly, if this guy would have never posted his footage on the internet for all to see and for, in this particular situation, Silk to pick through, this guy would have never been found. I truly believe that. He would have still been cheating today. I don't think the community or DICE would have ever busted him. Now, the second thing that's really bad about this is cheaters like this kind of ruin the game for everybody else. And I don't mean in playing against them and killing you all the time. They're going to potentially ruin the balance of the game too. If you see an enemy jet player and he's always getting 70 and 0, 80 and 0, absolutely insane kill streaks without any deaths on the enemy team, that is going to cause players on Reddit, on Twitter, on YouTube, Twitch, wherever you are, members of the community are going to start speaking up about how overpowered the jets are, or whatever vehicle or weapon it happens to be that that particular cheater is using. And if enough people start speaking up about how overpowered something is, eventually DICE are probably going to listen to them and then nerf it. So this guy is painting the jets to be way more powerful and have more killing potential than they realistically do. And that is one of the worst things at the moment for anybody who's a vehicle player, because we all know that those kinds of kill streaks that guy is going on is not really realistic in Battlefield 2042. But I'm pretty sure this guy has gotten banned by now. We've already seen some DICE devs commenting on this, saying things like, we've seen today what happens when, you cheat in Battlefield 2042. So DICE, at least somebody at DICE has definitely seen this. This guy must be on their radar, and I can only assume that he's already been banned from the game. His Twitter's gone. His YouTube is still up though, so if you go search for Gemini899, you can go and check out his videos and see if you would have caught him cheating or not had you watched it. I am going to go ahead and link Silk's video down in the description for those of you who haven't seen it, and it is entertaining, man. It's well worth the 10 or 15 minutes or however long it was. I thoroughly recommend watching that one. It's always nice to see a cheater get his comeuppance, but honestly, Silk is doing DICE's work here, so I don't really know what DICE can do about this other than listen to the community's reports on enemy players in-game and then looking into those on an individual case-by-case basis. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, guys. As always, thanks for spending some time with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.